Hey guys, very exciting subject today. I'm going to tell you the best practices on how to find your first job out of nurse school ASAP. Now, if you're still in school and being a little proactive, that's fantastic. What you want to do is talk to your preceptor, talk to people you shadowed under, talk to a professor even, and ask for a letter of recommendation. The best practice in all this is have a letter of recommendation ready that they can edit a little bit, or give you some insight how to fill out, or a lot of them are just going to want to sign it as is. Now that's excellent because now when most people are graduating, they're seeking those things out. You, upon graduation, have it all together on your desktop with copies printed in your car, in your home, already ready to go. Number two is this. 2A. I mean, people are going to go over grooming and such in more detail. Honestly, I'm going to touch on it for a few seconds here. Facial hair, good. New haircut. This is my quarantine look. Can't really change that just yet. But anyways, you want to get a haircut. You want to be well groomed and maybe even buy a new suit or a new dress or whatever. Just make sure you feel good about yourself. But here's the key thing you need to do. Okay, key thing you need to do is go into the hospitals. Go into the hospitals, request to speak to a unit manager, request to speak to a charge nurse. Tell them who you are, tell them why you're there in a very short period of time. Hi, I have X years of experience in this. I've just graduated nurse school. I'm looking for a position here because I know you're a teaching hospital. I have experience with this person over here, or that I admire this hospital for these reasons, and I would love to start and get a good launch pad to the rest of my career from this hospital because I trust you to teach me to be a great nurse. Something very quick, 15-20 seconds, that's it. You sell them in that amount of time that you're interested in their facility. And even so, you could actually bounce around from unit to unit, talking to different units, different managers, and who knows, you can be lined up with an interview right then and there, or set up for something later on, or leave such a good impression, they may want to call you back. Have plenty of copies of your resume and everything else, but nothing beats going to the unit itself. Granted, go to job fairs, apply online, do all of that. That's fantastic. Now, for your resume, I'm not going to touch on it. Granted, no spelling errors, no grammar issues, none of that nonsense. But you want to go ahead and select cardstock paper. This is the best practice you want to use. Cardstock is firm. It stands out from a pile of resumes, even the bright ones or what have you. Don't go too fancy or what have you. But this is just firm paper. It stands out for itself, adds an extra finesse. Comes in packs that look like this for like $6. Okay? You want to use that for your resume, letter recommendations, your cover letters, so forth. Now, they're going to ask you scenario-based questions. Scenario-based questions like, what happened when you had a hard time with a patient? Can you describe a time and how you overcame it, or a hard time with a coworker, so forth, so on. And you want to go ahead and you want to be honest, but let me give you a quick example. There was a patient that we had there that was cursing. He was upset. He was homeless before, or is presently. And, the nurse was having a hard time. Charge nurse had to come in, talk to him, and so forth. And this was going on. Now, me in my personal life was attending a Bible study. And actually, after Bible study, before Bible study, we would go out and feed the homeless every Thursday night for a year. And actually, I recognized this person was actually one of the people that I met outside, although I didn't have special time talking to him like I did with other people and build relationships. He was a person that I recognized. Now, if he was a person I recognized, I brought that up in discussion. I talked to him and built a familiarity, so my personal life, my career, all of it lined up, and actually we got to common terms with the patient, and he started accepting the treatment that we were providing him. And that went a long way with the nursing team there at my facility. Quick story, hit the marks, moved on. That's what was needed. They're going to ask you a bunch of scenario-based questions, and they want to know how you handle them, because that's a day in and day out of being a nurse. So practice them, someone have an idea of how you would approach that, and be ready to discuss those. Be ready to discuss those in such detail. Now also, my quick story here is my first nursing job. I showed up to a hospital, went to different units, and actually they just hired 60 nurses the week before. So here I am showing up a couple days after, and their needs have all been met. I'm like left in the dark at this point. But anyways, I impressed them so much they lined me up with an interview for the next week maybe. And they liked a lot about what I said and so forth. Now, I bounced around a few units, and that's kind of the best case scenario that I had. Got on an elevator, went down one flight, and guess who gets on? Person in a white lab coat said nurse manager. I say, hey, are you nurse manager? She's like, yes. Are you hiring? She said, yes. Great. I'm a nurse graduate from school. I just got my RN. I have X years of experience in other fields, and I'm passionate about this hospital because you guys are a teaching hospital. I'm interested to learn from you guys to start off my career. She was like, wow, okay. She lined me up with 4 hours of interviews because she was impressed so much. And she reviewed my resume, like everything about different parts of it and the way I explained it. My patience was there, everything else. 4 hours interview, must have interviewed from 8 to 12 different people. I gave certain answers like I kind of shared, did everything I told you early in this video for the first 4 minutes, and she loved it. The next day, what did I do? I showed up with a thank you letter. I already had a few things already laid out. I edited a little bit on the template there, showed up over there, gave her specifically the thank you letter, and said, thank you for your time. It meant a lot to me for XYZ reasons. Very, very short, very curt, and done. Done. Moved on. And you know what? That's how I got my first nursing job. Elevator pitch in an elevator in a hospital that just hired 60 nurses after that, and then got lined up with tons of interviews. So, guys, I gotta go, but the main thing is this: you could do it. I believe in you, and good luck.